Hello, everyone, and welcome to this week's installment of the Anderson-Healey Show. This is the weekly Mountain America Credit Union Sun Devil Radio Network program that brings you up to speed on all the latest developments in Arizona State University Sun Devil athletics. Hi, everybody. I'm Tim Healey, the radio play-by-play voice of ASU football, men's basketball, and baseball. Delighted to serve each week as your co-host, and equally delighted to serve alongside of my co-host, Arizona State Vice President for University Athletics, Ray Anderson. How are you, sir? Good to see you.
Doing well. Likewise. You doing okay?
Hanging in there. Hanging in there. Lots to talk about.
Well, and, let's get after it.
We're going to get our fans in a bit of a wrestling frame of mind on this week's program, as the start of the Arizona State wrestling season is just a little bit less than 1 month away. And to that point, our guest today will be from the Sun Devils' outstanding wrestling program, Sun Devil program that this year will be seeking its fourth consecutive top 10 national finish at next March's NCAA championships. Head coach Zeke Jones will drop by for a visit a little bit later on. So too will one of Zeke's returning veterans, 157-pounder Jacori Teemer, a three-time All-American, three-time All-Pac-12 wrestler who sat out last season due to injury but is back healthy this year and raring to go when the wrestling season starts in mid-November. They will join us a little bit later. But as always, we begin this week with a preview of the Sun Devils' upcoming football game as Coach Kenny Dillingham's squad, fresh off a bye week, about ready to head up to the Emerald City of Seattle to take on the unbeaten and fifth-ranked Washington Huskies, who themselves are coming off a thrilling 36-33 win over the Oregon Ducks last Saturday afternoon at Husky Stadium in Seattle in a battle of top 10 ranked Pac-12 powerhouses. Dating back to last year, the Huskies have now won 13 consecutive games. That is the second longest active winning streak in the Football Bowl subdivision. Only Georgia, with a 24-game win streak, has a longer string of success ongoing. And the Huskies have 13 in a row. That dates back, Ray, to last October 8th when the Sun Devils got them here at Mountain America Stadium, a memorable 45-38 win for the then Sean Aguano coach Sun Devils, with Trenton Bourguet coming off the bench to engineer that upset.
Indeed, and so the Huskies will be waiting on us, Tim. You can believe that, because we pretty much put a dagger in their CFP hopes last year.
Yep.
And so we won't catch them by surprise, but this team is going up there with the thought that anything can happen. And the thought that we could beat the Huskies is not one that is out of this world, because we did it a year or so ago. So it should be a great contest.
And not only that, even though Washington will be and is the prohibitive favorite to win on Saturday, for whatever reason and for whatever it's worth, ASU has had the Huskies' number in football in the 21st century. Since 2002, the Sun Devils are 12-3 against Washington. And interestingly, Ray, the Sun Devils have also won 8 of the last 10 meetings against the Huskies in Seattle.
And I'm sure those are stats and data that they're well aware of, but they are what they are, which means we go up there, we compete, anything can happen. And that history tells you. But they won't be caught off guard, but neither will we. We're ready to roll.
Yeah, it's going to be a fun evening in Seattle this coming Saturday. One of the top programs in the country, the Washington Huskies, one of the top offensive teams in the country, and a Heisman Trophy candidate in quarterback Michael Penix. Can the Sun Devils pull off an upset for the second consecutive year? Our Mountain America Credit Union Sun Devil Radio Network coverage of this coming Saturday's game will begin at 5 p.m. with the Sun Devil Tailgate Show hosted by Jeff Munn and Kevin Turner. And then KT will join Jeff Van Raphorst and me for the play-by-play broadcast beginning at kickoff set for 7:40 p.m. on Saturday night from Seattle, ASU, and Washington. Let's move on now and talk about volleyball. Sun Devil volleyball has risen to a tie for 17th in the national rankings after Coach J.J. Van Niel's squad split a pair of matches up in the state of Oregon this past weekend. After dropping a tough 5-set decision to the Oregon State Beavers last Friday in Corvallis, the Sun Devils bounced back big time on Sunday afternoon with a 3-set sweep of 5th-ranked Oregon at Matthew Knight Arena in Eugene. It was ASU's 5th all-time volleyball win against a top 5 ranked opponent and the program's first since a sweep of then number 2 ranked Texas way back in 2013. What a bounce back performance by the Sun Devils against Oregon.
Yeah, you're talking about resilience to come back and against the number 5 team and then sweep them at their home. J.J. Van Niel and this volleyball team is really showing some grit, and you know what? They just have some determination. I think this is the best start, certainly since I've been here, and one of the best starts ever. So they're doing a great job. That win against Oregon was terrific. Now you just move to the next one, and the next one, and the next one. But this program is absolutely on a great run.
They sure are. And what happens when a program gets on a run like that, you can just see the confidence continue to build within the team and within the players, and the confidence of this team is off the charts right now. It's like my buddy Jeff Van Raphorst has always said, and he's 100% spot on correct. If you could bottle and sell confidence, you could make billions, because it just is so impactful on the lives of everyone, not just athletes.
No doubt about it. And then that confidence, and then you get that momentum, and then you know that old Mo just keeps going. Well, this team has got confidence, and that momentum is on their side. So we anticipate that it's just going to keep going. But it's a wonderful thing to see, because you know the program has struggled a little bit. We know that. That's why the change was made. And boy, JJ has come in and just done a magnificent job. And these young women are playing with confidence, and they got the great Mo on their side, Tim, and it's exciting.
Boy, certainly the clubhouse leader to be Pac-12 Coach of the Year in 2023, J.J. Van Niel of Arizona State. His team now 18-2 on the season, 6-2 in Pac-12 matches. And you know what? They've become road warriors. Remember all those early season matches they had on the road? They were in Oregon last weekend. Well, guess what? They're going to stay on the road this weekend as the Sun Devils head to the Pac-12's Mountain Schools, a match this coming Friday at Utah, a match that will start at 5 p.m. Arizona time. And then Sunday, I should say, it's on to Boulder to take on the Colorado Buffaloes in a match that will start at 11 a.m. Arizona time this coming Sunday. Also finding success on the Oregon Trail this past weekend, the Sun Devil women's soccer team of head coach Graham Winkworth, as Graham's squad went into Eugene on Friday night and posted a hard-fought 2-0 victory over the Oregon Ducks. Anasia Colon's goal, her 9th of the year. She is 2nd in the Pac-12 in goals, by the way, so far this season. That broke the scoreless deadlock, while goalkeeper Pauline Nellis tied an Arizona State single-season record with her 8th shutout of the season in that 2-0 victory. Boy, just a lot of grit to win like that on the road and shut out the Ducks, no less.
Indeed, and understand the weather wasn't very nice either. It was wet, rainy. I think they had a delay, but it didn't matter. Graham Winkworth and this team is off to a tremendous start, and a 2-0 shutout up there in bad weather shows these women are playing with a lot of confidence, and that momentum is coming in their favor as well, Tim.
Yes, indeed. Now Arizona State on the year 9-2-4, 4 draws already this year for Sun Devil soccer, but they've been tough. Only 2 losses in their 15 matches this year. They're 4-1-1 in Pac-12 conference play, and unlike volleyball, which stays on the road this weekend, the soccer team will be back home in Tempe this coming weekend. 2 big matches against the LA schools. On Thursday night, it'll be ASU hosting the USC Trojans, a 7 p.m. start at Sun Devil Soccer Stadium. And then Sunday afternoon at 1 p.m., the UCLA Bruins will be here to take on ASU. Let's talk some puck, shall we? For the first time since 2020, the Arizona State ice hockey team has made its way back into the national rankings. Coach Greg Powers' Ice Devils are ranked 18th and 19th in the 2 major weekly collegiate hockey polls this week, and that comes after the Sun Devils' impressive season-opening sweep of then 15th ranked Merrimack College at Mullet Arena last weekend. 2 thrilling victories for Arizona State, a 1-0 overtime win in the season opener last Friday night, and then a 4-2 decision on Saturday evening in a hockey game that was tied entering the final minute of regulation. And the big star of both games was the fellow who was our guest on the show here a couple of weeks ago. Winger Matthew Copperrood, Matthew scoring the game-winning goals, Ray, in each of those games. An overtime game winner in the 1-0 Friday night victory. And then it was Copperrood's power play goal with less than a minute remaining and a 2-2 tie that put the Devils ahead on Saturday en route to that 4-2 victory.
That 2-0 sweep against Merrimack, then number 15 in the country, I believe, was really sweet. Opening at home, now ranked for the first time since 2020. But Matthew is a superb player, great team leader.
Comes up big at the biggest moments, it seems
like. He's a gamer when it counts. And so Coach Powers and our assistant coaches have these men playing at a really fun level. And you know they expect to be good this year. So this ranking early is good, but I don't think to them a surprise at all.
No, they expect to. I think they expect to be in postseason this year, and certainly off to a good start with that sweep of a really good Merrimack College team. Hockey, by the way, will be back on ice at the Mullet this weekend for 2 games against Northern Michigan, Friday and Saturday evenings. Unlike last week when the Saturday game started at 5 p.m., this week's hockey games both begin at 7 p.m. Friday and Saturday. And incidentally, if you're going to Saturday's game, wear pink if you think of it, because you want to support ASU Hockey's Freeze Out Cancer campaign this coming Saturday. Hockey is one winter sport that's already underway. Another winter sport is about to get underway within a month's time. And coming up, we're going to have a preview of the 2023-2024 Sun Devil wrestling team as we visit with Arizona State's 10th-year head coach, 3-time Pac-12 Coach of the Year, Zeke Jones, set to join us. But first, these messages. This is the Anderson Healey Show from the Mountain America Credit Union Sun Devil Radio Network. We're back on the Anderson Healey Show from the Mountain America Credit Union Sun Devil Radio Network, along with Arizona State Athletic Director Ray Anderson. I'm Tim Healey, the radio play-by-play broadcaster for Sun Devil Athletics, and Ray and I are glad you're with us this week. We are a little less than 1 month away from the start of the collegiate wrestling season, a season in which the Arizona State Sun Devils will be seeking a 4th consecutive top 10 national finish and 5th in the last 7 years. And here with us today to preview his 23-24 Sun Devil squad is the gentleman who's about to begin his 10th year as the head coach at his alma mater, a 3-time Pac-12 Coach of the Year. He has coached 29 All-American wrestlers here at Arizona State. He himself was a former Pac-10 champion and All-American at ASU, wrestling here in the late 1980s, and competed on the Sun Devils national championship team coached by Bobby Douglas back in 1988. Always a pleasure to talk wrestling with Coach Zeke Jones. How have you been, partner? Good
I've been fantastic. That's quite an introduction. Thank you. It's
well deserved.
It's been a fun 10 years.
Yeah.
But fun 30 years.
There you go. Yes, indeed. And yes, indeed. And I want to start by, how do you reflect back on last year? 7th place national finish. You had 4 All-Americans, 3 Pac-12 champions, 2 different wrestlers named Pac-12 Wrestler of the Year by different platforms, all while dealing with injury issues. That sounds to me like a pretty good season. How do you reflect back on it?
Yeah, you know, it's we came out of it unscathed in the end. It was a tough year, a couple tough, difficult injuries, losing a 3-time All-American Jacori Teemer to the start of the season and still having a top 10 finish. We felt really good about it.
No question. That's your overview of your group that you bring back this year. It's a group that's led by 2 returning Pac-12 champions, your 149-pounder and Kyle Parco, and of course the heavyweight Colton Schultz, just a tremendous wrestler who won it all at the heavyweight division last year.
Yeah, we're in a great spot. You know, of course, we're excited about winning that last Pac-12 championship. Guys like Kyle, Colton, Jacori coming back, Kyle Parco, right, a 3-time All-American in his own right, in multiple-time conference champion. I think we're in a great position to continue the success we've had over the last half a decade.
Kyle Parco, let's talk about him for a minute. What a great addition to your program, coming over from Fresno State. What are his best characteristics as a wrestler?
Well, one is he's a student of the sport and he's mentally tough. I'll give you 2, right, where he really just... he comes to work every day with an intensity that few people can match. He loves the sport. He's extremely dedicated and studies his craft at a really just detailed level. And You know, he's a great leader. The guys love him. You know, he's got a really kind heart. He's really grateful. We put a lot of time into just being thankful for our opportunity, and that's propelled, I think, Kyle to make big jumps. And, you know, being preseason top 2, 3 in the country, you know, he's going to vie for a national championship.
So, too, will your heavyweight Colton Schultz, who, to me, he's one of those athletes, Zeke, a lot of hype when he came in here as a highly touted recruit. And he's one of those kids that's been able to live up to the hype. Talk about him and his path at Arizona State.
Yeah, Colton, you know, the #1 recruit in America out of high school, and came to Arizona State with a lot of regard, and has really lived up to all of it. You know, he's going to be in the hunt for a national title again, ranked in the top 3 in the country. Just wrestled for the United States in the World Championships, and will be a favorite to make the U.S. Olympic team as we head into the Paris 2024 Olympic Games. And you know, he wants it all. You know, he wants to win a national title. He wants to win an Olympic gold medal. And I think, you know, that's why I chose Arizona State. We have a long history and tradition of not only seeing guys on top of the NCAA podium, but of course, guys that want to be the best in the world.
I was going to say, when you have a guy like him, and you have a lot of wrestlers in your room like this, talented, but also that motivation and that drive, that's a pretty tough combination to beat.
Yeah, I mean, it's, you know, when you have the drive of, you know, an Olympic champion at 19, 20 years old, the maturity too, right, and the understanding what it takes to get there. It's guys like Colton Schultz and Parco Teemer, and are just leading the way.
Jacori Teemer, we're going to visit with him in the next segment of our show this week. And to me, it's almost like you're a pro team and you just went out and signed a big-time free agent to get a 157-pounder of his skill, 3-time Pac-12 champion, 3-time All-American, sat out all last year due to injury. What does it mean to your program to get him back this year?
Well, he's a tremendous leader, right? I mean, he's been there, has done that at the highest level. He, too, has goals of not just being the best in the country, but being the best in the world. And he's excited. He's chomping at the bit. He hasn't been out there in a long time. And so I know he's super excited about competing and just helping his team, you know, get in contention to win a conference championship and a national title.
Great to have Jacori back. And again, he'll be our guest in the next segment of this week's show. I wanted to talk for a minute about a young man who made the amateur wrestling news all-rookie team last year, your 125-pounder, Richard Figueroa, undefeated last year in 14 matches. What are your hopes for him this year?
Yeah, he's, you know, we were hoping he would be a secret, but he won't be. The whole country's paying attention to him. So he, in the Las Vegas Invitational last year, one of the biggest premier Christmas tournaments in the country, premier tournaments in the country, he beat the NCAA finalist in the finals of the Las Vegas tournament. So he won the Las Vegas tournament, and the kid from Purdue he beat ended up being in the NCAA finals.
Wow.
So now everybody knows who Richard is. You know, he's not going to fly under the radar. He's going to start off with a preseason top 3 ranking in the country and hasn't wrestled in a conference or NCAA tournament yet, and that's pretty rare.
Yeah. Boy, the Valencia family has been kind to the Arizona State wrestling program. You've had great ones in Zahid and Anthony, and now you have their younger brother, Cale Valencia, who, like Richard Figueroa, was named to the Amateur Wrestling News All-Rookie team last year.
Yeah, Kyle's really doing a great job. You know, he obviously comes from a tremendous family. You know, to him, I think he wants to forge his own path. He knows his brother's history and tradition. I think he's really excited about making his own mark in the Sun Devil program. But as you know, we'll always lump all of them together because they're a fantastic family. So he just came away with a world bronze medal this summer. Anthony represented for the United States, and then Anthony represented Mexico in the World Championships.
Wow.
And both are in position to make an Olympic team next year too. So, you know, Kyle, Anthony, and Zahid are, you know, the first family of Sun Devil wrestling right now.
That's for sure. You said to me before we started taping, you have a good group of freshmen coming in. Talk about some of the young wrestlers you've brought in that you think have chances to have bright futures.
Sure, you got 2 really good ones that most likely will redshirt. One is Nico Reese, who comes out of the St. John Bosco family in California, which is where the Valencias are from, and the father, Ruben Valencia, is the coach there. Nico Reese won everything in high school you could win, and he's about 165, 174-pounder. And we're excited about getting him out there. And then we have another one, which the last name everybody knows here in the Arizona family, another family of wrestling, Caleb Larkin, from the famed Larkin family. Eric Larkin, NCAA champion and Heisman Trophy winner. The Hodge Award really needs no introduction. Caleb is a freshman, and man, he's really good. He's projecting at 149, 157, so the future is really, really bright.
You lose two really good ones from a year ago. Brandon Courtney, a 4-time All-American at 125 pounds, a second and third place national finish on his resume during his ASU career. And then Mikhail McGee, a third place finisher last year at 133 pounds. How do you look back on their Sun Devil careers? Of course, Mikhail was a transfer during his career, but boy, they were two terrific Sun Devils. What did they do for you?
Yeah, boy, you can't replace guys like Brandon Courtney and Mikhail McGee. They're multiple-time All-Americans, conference champions. Brandon just finished his master's degree, and both are now, just like our others, are transitioning into the pros, right, into the major leagues, where they'll all try to make world and Olympic teams in this next 4 and 5 year cycle. So we're really excited. They're going to stay here and train with us and help the next new Sun Devils like Richard Figueroa. And then really the last one that we need to mention is Julian Klebo, who is going to be wrestling in the University World Championships next week at 133 pounds. And like Richard, we'd like to think would fly under the radar because he wrestled behind McGee. But he doesn't, everybody knows who he is. He just won a tournament with 125 wrestlers to make the world team at 61 kilos, and will be wrestling in what country? Albania. I got to make sure I had that one. We were just in Serbia, so I was going to mix it up. In Albania, and I'm actually leaving here soon, and so is Julian.
Wow,
so,
that's
couple
awesome.
Days.
That's awesome. You just released your season schedule not long ago. Zeke, interesting. You won't have a match, as I understand, in front of the home folks until early January.
You're right, correct? Second semester. That's right. We'll have our maroon and gold on November 3rd, where fans can come out. We'll have a alumni, family, and friends tailgate before our maroon and gold match on November 3rd, Friday night. But yeah, we won't have a home match against an opponent until second semester.
Some changes to your staff in the off season?
Nope, same staff. We're excited. We're finally getting some continuity in our staff, and Eric Thompson, Frank Molinaro, and Lee Pritz are doing a fantastic job. They're the best.
Now, you also have a contract extension through the 26-27 season. That must be satisfying for you to have your work rewarded that way. Yeah,
Ray's been great. President Crow of the university. I truly am a Sun Devil for life, right? 1985, I came here, and ASU has made me into the person I am. My family lives here, my daughters, my grandkids. We just love it here. It's home.
Well, it's so great to have you here, and it sounds to me like you got high hopes to hoist a trophy in Kansas City. What will it take, Zeke, to do that in March?
Yeah, we just need to go out there and do what we normally do. Treat it like a regular match, get excited, have fun, be humble, be grateful for the opportunity, and be excited to put our hands on somebody.
But as you've heard through the course of this interview, he's got some talented wrestlers who are also heavy in motivation, and when you put those two factors together, this could be a special season.
Yeah, this group recruited itself, meaning they all got here, said, hey, let's all go to Arizona State, win a national title. These were kids that won everything in junior high and high school, and who've known each other their entire lives. And now, they said, hey, let's all go to ASU, do it together, and do something special. And so they are excited. They're ready to go.
And so are we. And the Sun Devil Wrestling start of the season less than 1 month away. Zeke, always great to visit with you. Best of luck to you and the team
Thanks,
this year.
I appreciate it, Tim.
That's Sun Devil head coach Zeke Jones joining us here on the Anderson Healey Show. Coming up, we'll meet one of Zeke's top wrestlers as 157-pounder Jacori Teemer will stop by for a visit. But first, these messages. This is the Anderson Healey Show from the Sun Devil Radio Network. We welcome you back to the Anderson Healey Show here on the Mountain America Credit Union Sun Devil Radio Network. Along with Arizona State Athletic Director Ray Anderson, I'm Tim Healey, the radio play-by-play voice of the Sun Devils, and Ray and I are delighted that you dropped in on us this week. We chatted with Sun Devil head wrestling coach Zeke Jones in our last segment of this week's show. Now, it's time to check in with one of Zeke's top wrestlers on the 2023-2024 Sun Devil Wrestling squad. This young man is a 3-time All-American, a 3-time All-Pac-12 selection who wrestles in the 157-pound weight class. And after missing last season due to injury, he is set to return this year and help lead the Sun Devils as they bid for a 4th consecutive top 10 finish at the season-ending NCAA championships. He is from Long Beach, Long Island, New York, not far from the Big Apple. It's a pleasure to welcome 157-pounder Jacori Teemer to the show. Jacori, how are you, man? Good to see you.
I'm good. Feeling pretty good, getting ready for the season.
Yeah, you say feeling good. Those are two key words for you because you sat out all last year with a pec injury. Tell us about your injury, what that experience was like for you, having to sit out, watch your teammates compete without you.
So, first couple of days of practice, I tore my pec 6 centimeters off the bone.
Wow.
And it was my first major injury, first injury that I had that needed surgery to repair. So it was very difficult for me. This is my first time off the mat for years. I've been training all my life all throughout high school, no injuries, and throughout the summer. So taking the year off is just very different for me.
Yeah, it probably is as difficult mentally and psychologically as it was physically. Talk about that aspect.
Oh yeah, it was definitely hard mentally at first because I'm doing something that I love and it's just getting taken away from me. So I actually had to hone in on my mental health and get right there before anything.
How are you feeling physically right now?
Feeling great. Ready for the season. Summer was great. The preseason workouts was great, so feeling 100%.
The start of a new season is always exciting, but I imagine for you that excitement is off the charts. What's it going to be like for you when you get back on the mat for the first time this fall?
Definitely intriguing. I've been waiting for so long. Like I said, it's my first time being off the mat full time for a whole year. So I'm very excited. Looking for some better results, All-American the past 2 years that I competed. So I'm looking to increase my goals and win it all.
Your team last year was still able to achieve a 7th place national finish without your services. It's almost like getting you back. It's like a professional team that signs a big-time free agent. Talk about your return and the kind of leadership. I would imagine a lot of your teammates must look up to you a lot.
Oh yeah, now I'm 5th year on the team, so I'm the old head on the team now, so it's a little different. I got to lead a lot of young guys, and they're following through good. I know we got Kyle Parko and Colin, also 2 All-Americans that's returning. We got a young guy, Richie Figueroa, and we're all headed in the right direction right now. All our mindset is just going in and winning it all. You
mentioned 2 of your returning classmates who are defending Pac-12 champions in their weight classes, Kyle Parko at 149 pounds, and of course, the guy everybody knows, your big heavyweight, Colton Schultz, the reigning Pac-12 champion. Those are 2 guys this team is going to lean on as well as yourself this year, I would imagine.
Oh yeah, for sure. We the ones that seen the national stage already, so we know what it's like. So it's just the newcomers, getting them ready and prepared to be on that big stage.
That's an interesting point because you guys do have that been there, done that mentality. What is that like competing at the Pac-12 championships and at the NCAA championships?
That's the best feeling in the world. It's what we dreamed of. Just going out there in front of a big crowd. We're just getting ready for that and taking all the pressure.
Who are some of the young guys on your team that fans should keep an eye out for this year? As guys that might be able to step up and be contributors.
125-pounder, Richie Figueroa. He had undefeated last season, went undefeated, 17-0, I believe, and he was great all throughout high school, had a great season last year as well, so everyone's looking out for him. Jesse Vasquez is also a good returner. He dealt with some injuries, but we keep him healthy this year. We could definitely see him on a podium. And then sleepers, I feel like, is 133, Julian Klebov. He's actually wrestling overseas, representing Team USA right now at U23 World Championship, so I feel like he could definitely have a good season for us.
Boy, he has some big shoes to fill. Mikhail McGee, he was just an outstanding wrestler for you the last few years at 133.
Yeah, we got some depth, though. He was behind McGee, obviously, who was number 3 in the nation last year. So he's been getting ready. He's been patiently waiting for his turn, and his time is now.
How would you describe your style of wrestling on the mat? What's your mindset as you get into a bout with your opponent?
My mindset is definitely going out there, posing my will on the opponent, and just scoring points. I'm very defensive, but like the past 2 seasons, not 2 seasons, but last off season before I got hurt, I was working on scoring more offense and shooting more. So I'm very defensive, but I'm working on being more offensive and putting more points up on the board.
Now, you happen to wrestle for a terrific head coach who is also one of the select group of ASU alums coaching as the head coach at their respective alma mater. What are some of the things that Coach Zeke Jones has brought to the program that have, helped you the most, I guess, in your path?
Yeah, so obviously everyone could compete at a highest level, but he makes sure that from the beginning of the season to the end of the season, we're peaking at the right moments. He's not going to wear us out first half of the season, then we're drained for we're most important, the Nationals. So
Right.
I feel like he has a very scientific way of heading into the season, and I feel like we train with certain aspects throughout the season which keep us at our peak when it matters. So it's very important.
It must be fun and cool for you to compete for a coach that has a passion for this place, you know, and that's the thing I've admired about all the ASU alums who are coaching at their alma mater.
It's very good. Just being at ASU, he was the reason why I came here. Just first time I met him, he was like all about ASU and winning at not only the collegiate level, but the world level as well. So that's just great to have.
I was going to ask you, what was it, you know, being from the New York City area that drew you out to Arizona State, and Zeke Jones was pretty much it, huh?
So yeah, Zeke Jones, the whole coaching staff was just great, and then obviously Zeke as the head was just amazing. My high school coach, Volgar Rudravov, actually competed with Zeke, so he knew of him, and he was like, that's a great coach to wrestle for. So other than that, obviously the weather was beautiful.
Right.
Coming from the cold and coming out here to the nice heat is beautiful. I love it. And then the team aspect, we're just like a family. So they treated me like family as soon as I got in, so that was a major role.
Jacori, what are some of the things it'll take for your team to hoist a trophy in Kansas City, which this year will be the site of the 2024 NCAA Wrestling Championships?
I feel like consistency and keeping your composure, because things can get rough out there, especially with our schedule. We have a hard schedule. So like even if we take a loss, just bouncing back, keeping consistent in our workouts, keep building our technique, and our confidence will be there towards the end of the season. And then at the end of the season, just keeping your composure, because that big crowd, it takes a toll. I've been there in the semifinals, so just keeping your composure, staying relaxed, and knowing your practices and your preparation has been going well the whole season.
And it sounds like Coach Jones just has the right approach to get you guys primed to just get better and better till you're at your best come February and March.
Yep, that's the plan. Peak at the right time and then shine bright when it's important.
There you go. Well, it's great to have you back, Jacori. All the best to you this season, and good luck to the guys as well.
Thank you.
That's Sun Devil 157-pound wrestler Jacori Teemer, our guest today on the Anderson Healey Show. Ray will rejoin me for the final segment of this week's show after we take a timeout. This is the Anderson Healey Show from the Mountain America Credit Union's Sun Devil Radio Network. Welcome back as we wind down this week's episode of the Anderson Healey Show from the Mountain America Credit Union's Sun Devil Radio Network. I'm Tim Healey, the radio play-by-play voice of the Sun Devils. Glad you're with us this week. Arizona State Athletic Director Ray Anderson rejoins me now as we talk a little bit of triathlon, as the Sun Devils' hugely successful women's triathlon team capped off its regular season, if you will, by winning the 2023 West Region National Qualifier that took place last Saturday in Springfield, Missouri. The Sun Devils featured 3 of the top 6 individual finishers in the race, with freshman Sydney Clement winning the individual title. Sydney finished the race with a time of 1 hour, 3 minutes, and 39 seconds. She set the pace pretty much the entire day. Heidi Jurankova finished in 5th place. Faith Dasso finished in 6th place, to give, again, Arizona State 3 of the top 6 individual finishers, and all 3 of those athletes were named to the All-West Region team. Cliff English's team, certainly, Ray, looks ready to go after a 7th national championship, as the 6-time national champion Sun Devils get set to host the Collegiate Triathlon Nationals coming up on Saturday, November 11th at Tempe Town Lake.
And excited about it. Coach Cliff English has just done a magnificent job, 6 in a row, looking for number 7. You got the 1st, 5th, and 6th place finishers in a strong field back there in Missouri. But that's what this program is built on. It's built on just across the board, really strong student athletes, and this triathlon is just an amazing sport with amazing young women competing here. And Cliff English has just done a spectacular job. And so we're looking forward to hosting the national championship for the NCAA once again here on Tempe Town Lake on November 11th.
You know, another story of that meet in that West Regional qualifier in Springfield is the fact that Arizona State won it, but you also had the University of Arizona and TCU, I think, and the University of San Francisco among the top 4 teams, which the moral of the story being more and more big-time schools, Power 5 type programs are fielding women's triathlon teams, to the point where it's about to become an NCAA sanctioned sport.
Indeed it is, and we think next year it will be an NCAA sanctioned sport, and we're proud as a program to have convinced Arizona and TCU, all three of us now in the Big 12 next year,
right,
have a chance to really continue to expand triathlon. And certainly amongst the Power 5 conferences, we will have the most teams participating. But the sport is a fast-growing sport, one that a lot of people are starting to recognize. And so to have TCU, Arizona State in the same conference starting next year, to continue hopefully enticing others to join, because it's a great sport with tremendous student athletes.
Let's talk some cross country now. Coach Ryan Ray's Sun Devil cross country team had a good day last weekend at the Highlander Invitational in Riverside, California, as Sun Devil runners posted 9 personal bests in the competition. Among them, the ASU women finishing in 4th place with Sadie Haringa leading the way, her personal best time of 20 minutes, 38.5 seconds, while the Sun Devil men placed 10th overall in the event. But Jonathan Estrada posted his personal best time, 24 minutes, 12.3 seconds. And not only that, Jonathan bested his previous personal best by a full 38 seconds in the race in Riverside last week.
That is quite amazing performance, and Coach Ray has got this team competing. And so what you love to hear is when you go out and then you come back and you report all these personal bests. At this point in the season, they've just gotten better and better and better and better at competing. The women coming in 4th in a strong field. So you got to be proud about what's going on in this cross-country program, Tim.
And next up for cross-country, the big one, the Pac-12 Championships that'll take place on Friday, October 27th in University Place, Washington, just outside of Tacoma. Let's talk a little bit of women's golf before we exit on this particular week, as the Sun Devil team of Coach Missy Farquet finished in a 10th place tie last week at the Windy City Collegiate Classic near Chicago. The Sun Devils shot even par for the tournament as a team. Individually, Ashley Mene and Patience Rhodes were the top Sun Devil individual finishers. They each posted solid rounds, 3 rounds of 4 under par, 212 totals, placing them in a tie for 20th place.
Yes, and Ashley's name you will continue to hear when you're talking about outstanding performances for our women's golf team. So Missy and our women are getting ready for a strong spring and hopefully making a run to national championship appearance again. So we'll wish them well, but they're always competitive. Missy has got them playing competitively all the time, and that's what you look for.
And they're back on the links this weekend. The Sun Devil women's golf team will be in Ray's former neck of the woods, Stanford, California, for the Stanford Intercollegiate Tournament that'll take place this Friday, Saturday, and Sunday, October 20th, 21st, and 22nd. With that, we bring down the curtain on this week's installment of the Anderson Healey Show. Some thank yous before we leave. First to our executive producer, Arizona State Senior Associate Athletic Director, Doug Tamerow. I'm not sure why I say Doug's name before Sean Crespin's name, but I guess I do anyway. Sean Crespin, our terrific engineer-producer, thanks to him. And thanks to our, let's see, I've called her inimitable, incomparable, let's just say this week she's the amazing Kim Nelson, our Sun Devil Radio Network show scheduler. We'll be back next week with another edition of the Anderson Healey Show. We hope you'll make plans to join us. Always great to visit with you, Ray. See you in Seattle. It'll be a little bit chilly, but so far, I think we might stay dry on Saturday.
Well, they are indicating that some fairly good weather, and so we will see you up there. And in the meantime, we say, go Devils!
Go Devils! Till next time, for Ray Anderson, I'm Tim Healey. Thanks for joining us on the Anderson Healey Show. So long, everybody.